Hello everyone, I'm Steven Shinder, and this is my vlog, Chance of Sussex. This video brought to you by my good friend, Andre Bodrove. So if you see him around, say hi to him. And thank you again, Andre, for the donation. If any of you out there would like a shout out or would like something you support to get a shout out, you could go to gofundme.com/W4FJQ. You can message me asking if it's okay to get this thing a shout out, and we could talk and maybe I could incorporate it in a future video. So I'm a UC Irvine student, 4th year, and I'm majoring in English with an emphasis in creative writing, and I'm also majoring in literary journalism. And this vlog series is about me studying abroad at University of Sussex in Brighton, England. So each video will break down a week. I know I have some catching up to do, but this particular one will essentially cover my arrival week, which was mainly in London. So I left San Diego very late at night, took the bus to Los Angeles, and from there I took an Uber to LAX. The driver's name was Noel. He introduced me to Primus as we were talking about rock. Might check them out more with how experimental they are. And so I arrived at LAX, and I believe it was around 4 a.m. that people started lining up and going through metal detectors and such. Took some naps, kept waking up every now and then, trying to make sure I don't miss my flight because it would be very unfortunate if I missed it. But luckily I got on the flight. And I also had a little layover in Montreal, Canada, maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours, something like that. But yeah, I can honestly say I've been to Canada. So I slept for much of the flight, though I did listen to some music along the way. Selections on the flight included Reflector by Arcade Fire, different from some other Arcade Fire albums I've listened to, but worth checking out. Also listened to Live from Symphonia by one of my favorite prog rock bands, Asia. And I brought my own CDs as well. Brought 2112 by Rush, Clockwork Angels also by Rush. Oh, and I also brought this book by their drummer Neil Peart called Traveling Music. I actually borrowed it from my father, and he essentially talks about touring and some of the music he likes listening to. I have yet to finish it, there's just been so much going on, but it's been a great read so far. And I also brought, if you're a huge on prog rock, you'd know about this album, the legendary Close to the Edge by Yes. And it was actually the 45th anniversary when I landed in England, September 13th. So yeah, 45 years of that album. It's crazy and it still sounds incredible. So as the plane approached England, the sun was rising and the clouds looked like cotton candy, and I could see the green lands below. It was just amazing seeing that I was finally arriving there. So finally stood in England. When I got to London Heathrow Airport, there was this line to customs, waited about half hour or so. I was kind of nervous, kind of paranoid that the documents that I brought wouldn't be enough, but surely enough, they only looked at one of the documents I brought, and I explained that I was studying abroad at University of Sussex, and they just stamped my passport, and that was that, and I could breathe after that. So I took the London Underground, which was a train system. I was able to see the countryside out the window, which was really great. I got to the hotel where students who are going to different schools all over England were having orientation. I showed up early, so I spent some time at the Tate Modern across the street. Lots of art over there, and I was jet lagged, so it felt strange, like walking through a dream and not quite knowing whether or not you'd been in each room before. I know it sounds odd, but yeah, met a bunch of people at orientation, and there's actually one familiar friend from UC Irvine, and her actually a couple other people from UC Irvine whom I had never met prior, which I thought was weird because I always felt like it's kind of a small-ish school where everyone could kind of know each other. But yeah, we all hung out each night. Like we could see London at night, and we spent some time at a few pubs. One of them was called Doggett's, and we just talked about really funny things and got to know each other. We also went to these places, like on the night of the 14th, we were taken to this play, which is the play that goes wrong. We were each given tickets, and it was a hilarious performance. The actors really knew how to give off the sense that they were actors who weren't doing the play correctly, and there are all these set pieces falling, and it's a wonderful comedy. I highly recommend watching it if you ever get the chance. The next day, I believe, or maybe it was the day after, we were all in groups going to different places. My group was taken to the London Eye in the morning, and it's a Ferris wheel where you can see the city from a really high perspective. It's worth going at least once just for that. And then we had sushi afterward, a rotating sushi place. Later that day, there was this tour of some of the sites in London. The tour guide, I actually had a chat with a tour guide about Harry Potter when we got to the Millennium Bridge, which you can see in the beginning of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. And I was actually wearing my Ravenclaw scarf and beanie, so representing. We talked about how great it is that the Harry Potter series got people into reading. And we also saw the ruins of the Clink prison in Southwark. So incredible seeing what once stood and operated there, and just learning the history of the place and what has changed. We also saw the outside of the Globe Theatre, where many Shakespeare performances have taken place. And there was also this spot where apparently the night bus was filmed parking in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, which is really cool. And around that area, there was this bakery or sweets shop, whatever you want to call it, called Conditor and Cook. And there I got a lemon chiffon cake and a curly whirly brownie, and they were sweet and lemony, and just this place is worth going to. Like, you have to go there if you ever get the chance. And the night of the Friday the 16th, we had this trivia thing in the basement of the hotel. I wasn't really useful since I wasn't well versed in trivia of this part of the world. But the next morning, on the 17th, I went with the group of students that would be attending University of Sussex, and we all took a train to this hotel. We arrived in Brighton, and this hotel is in Hove. We're right by the water. The beach is actually pebbly, which is weird because I'm used to sand. But yeah, it's been pretty chill here. And I got to check out the university the next day. I actually got an English breakfast at a Falmer bar on University of Sussex. But yeah, I liked the overall vibe of the campus. Very green, even if it can be really cloudy on some days here. And yeah, that was pretty much the first week. Oh, I do remember the first night here at the hotel, there's this pizza party, and 5 people got stuck in the lift because it can only fit up to 4 people. It's not very spacious, but hey, they got out. So yeah, I've been getting to know some of the people in the hotel and on campus, and you'll be able to hear about more experiences that I've had around here for the past weeks and future weeks to come. So thank you again for listening to this video. Again, if you would like a shout out and you like this video, go to gofundme.com/w4fjq. And yeah, I look forward to making more of these, and I'll catch up with the other weeks eventually and try to stay up to date and put this out as soon as I can. So have a good day, world.